Hello, 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 my friends. I could almost cry with joy. Thank you for joining me. This is Kate in the nest, not in a nest, and haven't been in my own nest for quite a while now. And I do think this has probably been the longest time that I've ever not filmed for. So apologies for that, but I hope you can forgive me when I tell you about all the things that have been happening. But as always, I'm thinking of you because this little world of ours on YouTube, where we YouTubers share with you in community and kindness, is the highlight of my journey at the moment. So I'm hoping that you are well. Lots will have happened to you, I'm sure, and lots of stitches will have been made while I've been away. So as always, my priority is you. Please know I've been thinking about you, and I'm forever grateful for this journey. So where have I been and where am I now? Well, this is the Tote of Hope, and she's had quite an adventure. So this is my January side. If you're new here, this is a big tote that I have taken everywhere with me. So those of you who have been here for a while know that every side is covered, but it's quite convenient now. I'm in a hotel room. I'm actually not at home. I was lucky enough to fly home from New Zealand, and my gorgeous husband, who I've missed terribly, is playing in a golf competition, the tournament, somewhere else other than home. So that's where I am, and I get to come with him. He plays golf in the daytime. Can you hear how happy I am, girls? He plays golf in the daytime while I stitch by the pool. And then we spend tonight, and we've got his brother and wife with us as well. So it's a gorgeous combination. Family, friends, and of course my stitching that takes me everywhere. So that will be for a little while, and you don't need to worry anymore that where is Kate and where are the videos, because I really have no excuse. So on with the show. So backdrop for the next probably 10 days or so is Tote of Hope. She has been through an adventure, but I thought I'd just start with some stitching and telling you what has worked incredibly well for me. This is my beaded Kate in the Nest dangle beads that I made a little while ago and have shown you often, the bird with the key in her mouth. But what I did for this trip, and I actually think I've hit the jackpot, I've added my thread cutter and a needle threader to that, and it just looks like part of the you know me, and I love my jewelry. Oh, I've got Christy on today. Hello, Christy from So Bits. Christy, I know you haven't been well. This is her beautiful flower ring that she brought me back from Paris, and I wear it often, but it's particularly going to tie in with today. Speaking of hair ties, I couldn't find that, and there it is on my wrist. So that has been around my neck as well as my phone. So the two innovations for this traveling jaunt have been phone around the neck so I don't lose it, and thread cutter. And this, I don't use the threader very often, but the thread cutter, when you're on the plane, you don't have to worry about scissors. Gave the dental floss away, and that worked perfectly. So today I'm going to show you the Nelson tote that has had a lot of stitching on her while I've been overseas with Fleur. If you're new here, it's a fine balance. For those of you who know my story, I never want to be repetitive, but for those of you who are new, I need a bit of perspective. So I've been in Nelson, New Zealand, where I had the absolute joy and privilege and honor of my stitching life so far to do a collaboration over 3 days with the most magnificent women, some of whom were Australian, had flown over, and we had 3 days at the Melrose Cafe, and it was in every way, it was magical because we did things differently, and we've shown the photos on Instagram. What came out was an explosion. So you know me, I love to buy books when I travel. Sense goes out the sense goes out the window because I bought this giant book. Now, if you haven't seen it, neither have I. But I was in my favourite store in Wellington, Small Acorns, and saw that Amanda, the owner, had the Liberty book. Now, other people have seen it and said they haven't bought it. I didn't care about the weight because it truly, actually, it means a lot. Look at that, Liberty, design, pattern, colour. And I'm a latecomer to Liberty, but when I saw a pattern and a cover like that, and look at it with my work, not what am I trying to say? Pattern and colour. I'm not in any way comparing myself to Liberty. That sounds so wrong. And I haven't opened her, but this book came home in the tote of hope. And as I try and open the pages, get rid of the plastic, that brings me to the biggest story. Poor tote of hope got wrapped in plastic and tied with a table tie to come home with me from Nelson to Wellington. Now, I took her over full of the workshop kits, but on the way home, the team would not let me fly with her. So I did have a new vintage sewing basket that I'll have to show you in a while because she's not with me. It was so bulky in her. So it was the bulk on the small plane. So anyway, I don't begrudge them, but it was very sad. If you've seen Instagram, you will have seen her wrapped in plastic. But she made it, and it's part of the story. A tote of hope. I had to hope that she was okay. She's been in the cold hold of an aircraft now, flying across the Tasman, but she's okay. And that's, who knew that was going to happen? But I'm delighted. Okay, let's share this together. Da-da-da-da-da-da. The cover is fabric. And I said to my husband, I'm taking this book again because it's the time when I will have, there's a blank page. I've got the time to enjoy and to be inspired and just to look at books. I mean, how's that? I could easily make this a book review, but I won't. Am I thinking? I am thinking. Oh my gosh, my friends, how incredible is this? They did have a display copy that I flicked through, but I was in a very, I could cry. Look at that. I can see the influence of India, and I think maybe that's it. Peacock's Paradise Silk. Fleur. Hand-drawn in Liberty design, this striking spring meadow is a nod to Liberty's Art Nouveau revival in the 60s, of course. Botanical splendour showcases blooms, poppies, daisies, sunflowers. It really is that truly not what I love. And I didn't know I loved it until I started stitching with you on YouTube. And that would be a nice name, Floral Muse. I don't know how this book works, so I'll read more of it. But oh my gosh, eye candy. Stately banquet includes lilies, dahlias, and striped. I love how, we talk about inspiration. Someone said about, I don't know, no one owns flowers, and flowers have been around for a long time. So, in our stitchy world, we must always be conscious of, look, anyway, So excited. Oh, here we go. Published to mark Liberty's 150th anniversary. It presents the very latest examples alongside the archive. All right, so, that's a book for the ages. Love it. Okay, so I bought that. And then I bought that in Wellington, and then I need to introduce you to the pouch that is someone else's and was just waiting for me. Oh, gosh. Isn't she beautiful? Oh, I'm just in awe at her beauty, especially as she sits on tote. She's been inside my other piece. I'm rambling, but I'm sure you don't mind. I'm making up for lost time. Okay. Where is that coming from? In Nelson, there is a beautiful store. It's a vintage antique store. I don't know much about that. But on the Wednesday afternoon, we had the opportunity to finish a little bit early, and myself and Braun and some of the girls went down. And this was just, I shouldn't say just, it wasn't in a prominent place. But are you ready? The fabric is like a brocade. I can see it with more stitching and birds, but for the moment, she is just, a pouch with, it's a trifold with a vintage button with grosgrain frill, and you open her up, and this is what I kept my threads in during travel. I didn't have her, I might have used her in the last week. So in here, I bought that with me. And I've got some other bits and pieces. I started off keeping the pins on there, and by the end on the plane, they graduated to there. She does close, but what I loved, I took things to hold my threads with me. Of course I did. But it's an evolving process. So these are my vintage Japanese, these ones are French. These are Japanese. They're all messy. There's a bit of, I call fleur fabric, that held the needle threaders, etc., etc. So they're my threads in there. And on the plane, because I didn't have this one, I worked on my Nelson tote. Now, some of you have been with me from the very beginning of this piece, and we'll see how far she's come, because I have stitched her during the workshop. So there's our beautiful you help me out. I call her Mary Mary Queer. She starts with C. There's a lot of them, but this one's unusual. I got her the doily at Dirty Jane's, and then I've added flowers from, this is the flowers and vases that I didn't like. This is from the gorgeous MM. This is all sorts of, this is off Fleurs in the Wood, etc. So she's a real conglomeration, and this is the vintage sheet that's gone fluoro. So at the workshop, and I'm claiming it, I'm doing high-vis stitching. Okay, I love high-vis stitching, and I did a lot of that, and we girls laughed a lot because it's hard to put your name on it, but there is a time for that everywhere. So that is side one with some beautiful vintage Indian braid. It's got French finishing braid. It's got the top of the doily. Here are my beautiful Texas flowers from Missy. Every time I look at those, they smile, and Missy forever grateful. Here's a little bit of vintage. Here's a big bit. I think that's Fleur fabric. Yes, that was in the Fleur pile. So it becomes, I called it on my Instagram post, you know, in art, when we teach art and what artists do is we keep a process diary. And in a school contest, it's called your process diary. So I think my totes are like that, a moment in time. Okay, so I left where I live with this side bare, with the blanket and a bit of this frill. And this is where I am up to next. I left intentionally the blanket, the Okaparinga and Oliver Okaparinga, 100% pure wool, made in Australia, and I left the dingle dangle. So you will have seen that. But what I've done gradually is start to embellish, adorn, all the words that I love to use for this style of slow stitching. So I got this. This is a vintage cross stitch that was in a Fleur Woods pack that I purchased. She dyed it and I'm embellishing. I just adore that. Here is Miss Rose Sister Violet, actually a really big piece of Gabriella's fabric, because I just wanted to do a whole garden without a lot of collage. And then to come on the plain, because I always worry that I'll run out of stitching, I've added my usual rose piece that you've seen ages of. Haven't started on that. And this is some absolutely beautiful vintage French fabric that I bought meterage of, because that's all I could buy it by in Richmond, New Zealand. So it's already a story pouch. What I think is pièce de résistance, and I'm not going to tell the whole story, but one of the pieces of fabric I provided, now that strange sound is I'm in a hotel room and there's building works. I provided some wallpaper fabric, and it happened that the selvage said this, and it was one of those do moments. So there you are. Fleur's just been in Paris. I was with Fleur. We shared with our workshoppers this fabric that happened to be accidentally called Fleur de Paris. So that's up there in a place of honor. And here I bought, no, this was one of in Fleur's collection. So we, like my workshops, if you've been able to go to one, or Fleur's, or I imagine a lot of people, but we provide a bundle or a kit, and then you can supplement, and that's where the fun comes in. So I just love the green. I love, well, they look like flowers. They're joined onto that other piece that I had, and let's get stitching. I've got so much going on, and I bought that with me, and you've seen this is from my Indian braid. As I was just chatting, I just thought there might be a place where that is very French to me, even though it's Indian. And could that come up, be part of the fleur de lis idea? One thing I haven't got enough of is pins. It's my own fault. But that's just an idea. So it's been a lot of fun, a privilege, and my husband said, are you pinching yourself that you just got on a plane and went and ran your first ever international workshop? And gee, am I pinching myself? But more than pinching, it's not about me, it's about the opportunity to meet more and more stitchers. Well, let's not classify ourselves as stitchers. I want to talk to the people who come to my workshop, and I'm, at the moment it's all women, but I'm hoping it doesn't stay like that. This is art, and this is what we should be doing. And I got the strong sense that we should be doing this. What turned us into people who are known as still for our housework and cleaning the mirrors and sweeping the floor. And we have to keep out, it feels good, but let's not feel guilty anymore about, we are making art when we stitch. We are not being lazy. We are not doing something that is insignificant. This is what we should be doing with our hands. And I think, it's really struck me that we've stayed still instead of looking, standing on the shoulders of giants. We talk about, like, look at that Liberty book. Look at the beauty of that fabric. And we've been buying it chopped into little squares for so long to make our quilts. Well, I'm not talking about me because I haven't, but it's been around us. And let's honor that time. Let's go, oh, we just make quilts. Gee, we make art. Pouches and totes. I'm actually, it's not just a tote, it's not just a pouch, and who cares if I don't need one. This is what I do. And I make clothes that are art. And I want you to do that too. So be free, get bold. And I suppose that's the other celebration. It is a Sunday and, the week might get busy for you. So I'm going to say it all now. Again, thank you to those who've believed in me. I have to Rosemary particularly, I met you, and to Barbara, and so many of you who've been with me from the very beginning. As I say this, I cannot actually believe, but I'm sharing it because it's true. I am going to be in the next edition of the Embroidery magazine UK, like an embroidery magazine. Can you believe it? And when I was first contacted, the lovely editor, it was so beautiful. And I actually wrote back to her and I said, look, I'm so honored and I'm so flattered, but are you sure? Because I don't see myself as an embroiderer, and I don't want to offend your readers. And she was beautiful, and she came back and she said, Kate, it doesn't matter, like, she said it beautifully, and I won't quote her, but bottom line, like, let's just all share what we do. And whether it's liked or not, it's the sharing and the opportunity. So there you go. And I'm just, and she's described it as bold blooms, and I think I can't remember the wording. I'm embarrassed to read it all. But let's be bold, women. Let's get out there and show, and let's not apologize for doing some cross stitching. Okay, we're making art. We're making things that are beautiful, and we don't have to answer that question. So let's stop asking each other, what will it be when it's finished? That's another thing. It doesn't have to be any purposeful doing thing. Did the great masters who painted in oil have to justify why they were spending their entire lives in a studio? Did they know it would be sold? I don't think they did. And they couldn't stop doing it, and it didn't matter that they didn't have food sometimes or great lives. And that's how I can't stop doing this. And I know many of you are the same. So let's just not feel guilty. This is the thing. And, of course, we are all in different places, and I feel incredibly privileged that I happen to be in a stage in my life where my children, and not even grown up, my children have flown my nest, our nest, and are living independently, which, that's a big part of a job I have always seen as a parent, and my mum has taught me that, you know, that's why we fight. That's why she and I, you know, fought. That's why my daughter and I fought in those last years, because it's preparation to leave the nest and make your own. So I am living a life that is, I've only got to now. But as I said to these beautiful young women, and I'm not talking beauty on the outside, even though they were, like, I get thrilled when I see women taking time out to come to a workshop and to show others what they've been making. And I want that for younger people as well. Yeah. And anyway, I could rave on. Can you hear? You may not have asked for this when you see this video, but I am truly, it's been, I wonder if you could, it's probably not close enough, my friends, but it's like as I talk and I've met and chatted and been in an environment of beauty, that the color is just coming out, and it's not planned, but it's just exploding like a garden. So I wish you could show me what you're working on now. We talked a lot about multiple projects, and Fleur shared that this is what she did. Someone said, "Oh, Kate, what have you got? What are you stitching at the moment?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know, three flowers in vases, about 4 pouches, about 3 travel altars, a very big work that you haven't seen, in fact 2 very big works, and I bought blanket here, so I'm going to really delve into the creative process. As I say, what a luxury to have. So previously, before stitching, I would have read, and I will still read every day, but I will honor the opportunity to stitch multiple projects. So I've just done that there, and let's do something different now. So that was like a satin stitchy. These blues are probably not going to stay, and they will be covered up just that little blue bit. It's not original embroidery, so that it's okay to cover that. But look, the more I use fabric that already has beautiful florals on, I feel better, because I'm not relying always on vintage pieces. And one vintage here is the hero piece. I've got these, and I can't wait, I was going to show you them on a work I found at Eclectic. There's 2 of these. Look at that, for glorious work. So it's cut work on this beautiful, and that has not been dyed. And those flowers. I've got another piece that I'll show you during the week. Then I thought this would be the hero, and I don't think it is yet. And I found in New Zealand, like, we can't find these things in Australia, and I just found that, look at that, I found that too. Isn't that beautiful? That could be a little booklet. But see, I don't even have to say what it can be, because it's just beautiful. And I think she actually belongs on the Tote of Hope. Which brings me to, let me concentrate for a minute. What was that? That was red. Let's go to, it was so fun to share my wool while I was there. I said that it is one thing I really love. So if you want to do more of this sort of stitching, this is 4-ply merino and silk. Then I dyed up about 7 colours before I went, and I'm coming home to do more of those ready for wherever I go next. So I will have a July bazaar, so I will have those wools there, and then I'll have the August kit for the collab available then. But let's stay in the moment, Kate. So I've got that yellow there, don't really want that. Do I want to go over here? Oh yeah. One thing with the thread cutter, you can't get really close. So here is the center of this flower on vintage. It's high vis flower, but now let's do, I'm thinking of doing a weave. That's the fleur influence. And you know that I'm a wonky weaver. I mean, can you hear in my voice? I feel like I'm home. Because wherever I am in the world, if I'm talking to you in YouTube, everything's right with the world. So you can see I've not gone even. Does not matter. Because who's ever seen a flower that is fluoro, like all those textures there? So basically I'm just filling in that space. I'll do one more. I should have counted whether it's even or odd, but again, forgot to do that. All right. So remember, I'm not a tutor of how to do things. I'm just sharing what I do, which comes intuitively. And if there's any advantage in trying this style, it's just have a play. And if you don't like it, that is absolutely fine. So I always forget to do that down and up part. So I need to anchor it. And then, yeah, I can't even anchor it. So as I said, sorry about this, is a bit painful. Under, or over and under. That makes me happy. Over and under, over and under. Over, and there's one hiding under there. Oh. So there's all sorts of noises happening as as I said, away from home. But such a fun spot to be. So we'll just finish this weave, and that'll get me warmed up. Slow wild weave. My eyes are going blurry. So under, over, under, over. Yep. And we'll just finish here, and then I'll be back later in the week. So thank you, everyone. You can see, I'll just stand up and show you this work because time goes fast. There we are. So I'm working on this fluoro flower, high vis stitching, and beside, nearly came to me, lady who starts with C. So this is the Nelson tote. I'll be working on her in the next few days, and I've got some new pieces to show you as well. So as always, thank you so much for sharing your time. It's wonderful to be back. I hope you enjoyed seeing my vintage pouch, and to be continued, the most beautiful Liberty book. Design, pattern, colour sums up everything, doesn't it? Have a great day, my friends, and see you next time. Bye.